Good morning. So I'm going to do a rune pull before I go into meditation, before I start my workday at 8. And I thought I'd bring you along with me to join in on the great fun. So I'm going to do a one pull. I had lots of great things to think about yesterday. I met with Dr. Nikki, who I'm going to link below. And I met her through, I do a lot of those things that come across on Facebook, like, there are free ones and there are ones that you pay for. And I always sort of do research about them first to make sure, like, if I'm paying for it, it's something that I'm willing to put money toward. And I do believe that people do this kind of work for a living. So I'm not opposed to paying for it. I don't like to be scammed though. So I'm very careful about that sort of thing. Anyway, I met Dr. Nikki through Dr. A, and Dr. A runs a series on the Wheel of the Year, which is called the Sabbats, what I call the Celtic Wheel. I had gone to one for Yule, and then they had one for Imbolc. I won't get to make the next one because it's held on St. Patrick's Day, and March is the High Holy Month of Bagpipers, so I will be playing bagpipes that day. But I really felt very connected um, to Dr. Nikki's work because she studies Celtic mythology and spirituality and much more than that, but the sacred feminine, all sorts of things, and also like her style. So like she's no bullshit, and I'm all about authenticity in this space for myself, but also I seek that out in others because I want to make sure that if you're going on a tour, you want to have a tour guide that like knows a thing or two, right? And so, I think about when I take people out hiking, I run a hiking group for people over 40 who are new to hiking or new to backpacking, new to kayaking. And, they don't want to go alone, but they also don't want to go with a group of experts that are going to like fly by them. I always like, I think about spaces in my life where I need that sort of guide for myself. And I'm at a place spiritually where I need the runes, the things like I went through the phase of buying all the things. Like this is cool and that's cool and I want it all, give it all to me. And then but things just didn't resonate with me, right? Like tarot, no matter how many decks I buy, doesn't ever resonate with me. I look at them as being like oracle cards, really. Part of it is that I don't understand it, but I also don't have a desire to learn it. And I'm a nerd. If you haven't figured this out, I'm a sponge. I want to learn everything. I just don't feel called to learn it. It's not my tradition. I like watching my friends do it. I like watching other channels do it, but those cards in that way don't speak to me. So very connected to my Celtic line, very connected, sort of, I think about this, right? I've always been religious, as you know, if you've been following the playbook, I was going to be a nun. So I've always been religious. I moved into the spiritual world a long time ago, really, but kind of was very hidden about it. I've only really come out into my own literally because I fell down a mountain and I fractured my heel and I had to get surgery and I was in a boot for a year. Like spirit had to literally like stop me in my tracks, sit me down to get me sort of to engage with this content. And so, I've been growing in different ways. And if you would have asked me even a year ago if I'd be where I am today, the answer would have been no. And but I'm now ready to sort of take it to the next level, and really work with somebody who has experience and knowledge and wisdom. And I've always been a student, so I always feel like a good professor is also a good student. So it's time for me to learn from somebody who has knowledge, and Dr. Nikki is that person. And really helping me walk through like the past life regression that I did, and some of the other journaling and shadow work that I've been doing, and really that connection to the ancient world that I feel so very closely. Other people don't feel that, and that's okay, because that's not the path that they're walking in this particular physical lifetime, but it is definitely the path that I'm walking. And instead of like being scared of that, like I want to be able to embrace it, because definitely there's a message in that ancient world that needs to come through to this modern world. So anyway, how about a rabbit hole? I can go down some rabbit holes. So we're going to ask spirit for a stone for today. I'm going to go in and meditate. What should I put at the focus of my meditation? This may resonate with you or not. You want to come out. What are you? Ah, Kenaz. So, why can't I ever find anything when I'm looking for it? I don't know. Gotta find my cards. All right. I'll be right back. I gotta go find stuff. It literally translates to the word torch. Kind of looks like a torch, right? Flashlight. Right? And it really is talking about illuminating knowledge, right? Knowledge, intellect, searching for enlightenment, like looking for the truth, discernment of the truth, your skills and ability, creativity, things like that. And what I could not have picked a more appropriate stone, really, right now, because that really is what I'm on the quest for, is truth and authenticity, and sharing that authenticity with the world, right? I think there's a lot of... I often think about Hocus Pocus, and if you've watched Channel for a while, you know that I've never seen it. My nieces think it's outrageous that I've neither read or seen Harry Potter or watched Hocus Pocus. And the reason why is because even though I don't identify as a witch, I feel like media like that simplifies and humorizes inappropriately those traditions. And I feel like that happens a lot. And you can go on YouTube and you can deep dive into some aspect of spiritual awakening, and people have not taken it seriously over the years. I think we have more of an audience now. You can see that as evidenced at Barnes & Noble. Like when I was a kid, there was like one tiny section of the occult, and my mother would not even let me near it. And now there's like, there is a huge, at the Barnes & Noble by me, there's like a huge like section on New Age stuff and thing, things that we're into. So I feel like my mission really is to bring joy and happiness to this kind of work, but also authenticity and truth, right? So, there's everybody's spiritual path is different. There is, even in the Druidic practice, which I'm most drawn to, like I'm not a member of OBOT. I'm not a member of the big organizations. I'm very much an independent Druidic philosophical person. I hesitate to call myself a druid, like I hesitate to call myself a witch. I don't like the labels of those things because I don't think they mean what people think of when you say that you belong to those things. And so it's much more personal to me, and I would rather not have a modern branded label. And I actually thought about, like, why am I so, I always clarify, that I'm not a witch. And part of that is out of respect for witches, because I feel like a lot of people run around saying they're witches and aren't. A lot of people, don't know what that means. There's a lot of different ideas of what it does mean. But I also think I don't run around calling myself a druid either, although I will say that I'm more aligned with druidry than witchcraft. As a philosophy, there are religious druids too. I'm not a religious druid. So I think it's interesting when I think now that I'm doing shadow work and I'm doing journal work, I don't like the labels because I definitely feel very connected to the witch trials in Scotland. And I feel like, perhaps in a previous lifetime, I might have been accused of witchcraft and met an untimely end because of it. So I really feel very disconnected to labels. This lifetime, I don't want to be labeled as anything. I just want to... But if I were going to be labeled as anything, I would want to be labeled as being truthful. And, no name for it, just truthful, wise, wisdom. So I definitely think that, I'm onto something there in my journaling and meditation. So I'm going to think about that. Let's just see if there are cards to go with it. I'm going to just pull from Celtic Spirit this morning. And then we will all be on our way. I have to go meditate and take a shower and get ready for my day. to sit here and watch me shuffle. I'm sorry. Alright, let's see what we have. 3 paths of spirit to go along with Kenaz Stone. Or does it stand by herself? And pass 3. Like there's this one that, there you go. I knew you wanted to come out. You said and done it. Alright, our first stone is surrender. Let go, freedom, and flow. And I think I'm at that phase now in, you know, I've been gathering all the different tools that are out there, all the different divination tools to find out what has meaning to me. Because for the longest time, I was in a system that was created for me by the church, and now I'm figuring out what's meaningful to me. There are rituals that I really do embrace. There are other rituals that I know bring meaning to others that just don't resonate for me. So, you know, I've sort of collected all of the goodies, and now it's really sitting down with them and saying, okay, this tool is really helpful. This tool is really not. You know, I love crystals. They're very pretty. They have meaning. I don't know a lot about them other than that they're really pretty. I know that quartz powers my eye watch. So I know they're powerful, but it's like not where I'm at right now. Like I'm not into that sort of, on the trail, we call it a blue blaze, right? You know, there's the trail, spirituality, and then we have the blue blaze, which is like a side quest to go see a cool vista or, you know, a beaver dam or whatever. I think I've been on, you know, the blue blaze of crystals. I like them, I enjoy them, but it's not really my path. And that's okay, because I enjoy watching other people connect with theirs. I have ones that I like. I'm a huge fan of rose quartz. Surrender, let go. You know, let go of your pre-held misconceptions or your previously held beliefs, and let go of the walls that you build up, right? I will say, in talking to Nikki, I realize that I do really have a lot of walls that I've built up around, you know, those thorns that I've used to protect myself, like a rose does. That Thurisasian, that's a new word, approach to living, just because I don't want to get hurt, but I'm going to have to let go of some of those thorns so that truth and knowledge can get in, right? So I'm going to have to surrender and let go. All right, next we had rest, right? Rest. Stop, recharge, take care of yourself. And that's, you know, that I get that card a lot because I will go down a rabbit hole and I'll forget to eat and I'll not sleep well, and I need to make sure that I'm healthy in order to do this kind of work. And then last but not least, we have step out, hidden, courage, and camouflage. And that really is the story of my life. I've always been a background costume shop kind of girl. I like to make others look good. I like to sit in the background. But I need to step out, right? Because I think our world needs people that they can trust, because our media, and this is the work I do in my work. You know, we can manipulate media to make anybody look like they were anywhere, right? And, you know, we can deep fake everything, voices, people's faces, whatever. We are really moving into a space where we have to be able to tell when something is real and authentic. And Kenaz is the way we get there. So I'm going to go meditate on that and journal, and then I'm going to get ready for work. So I'm wishing you all the best, light, love. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.